You are welcome to Messiah Revelation Ministry. In this video, I'm looking at the presence of Africa and Africans in the Bible, specifically focusing on the genealogy of Jesus Christ, our Lord and King. And I'm looking at the genealogy, and I'm laying the foundation that if you look at the genealogy of Jesus Christ, you see the presence of Africans and that people in that genealogy. So I'll start with Genesis chapter 49 and verses 8 to 12, where we have the record of Judah. You are aware that Judah was one of the children of Jacob who settled in Egypt, and Judah married Canaanite wives. And when you see the word Canaan or Canaanite, you have to refer to the children of Ham. And Bible scholars believe that Ham was a black person and his children are black, and one of them was Canaan. And so when we say Judah married Canaanite wives, it means that the wives were black women. But Shua and Tamar, and they were both Canaanites, and the story of Tamar is found in First Chronicles chapter 2 verse 34. And one of the children of Judah through the marriage of Tamar was Perez, and Perez was the father of Hezron, and Hezron was the father of Ram. Ram was the father of Aminadab. Aminadab was the father of Nahshon, and Nahshon was the father of Sama, and Sama was the father of Boaz, and Boaz was the father of Obed, and Obed was the father of Jesse. Let me stop there. I say Obed was the father of Jesse, and Jesse is a person of prophecy, because the prophet Isaiah said that the Messiah will come from the root of Jesse. And so Jesse is the father of David. And then you should know that David, the king of Israel, King David, was then affected by the genealogy of Tamar, who was a Canaanite, because Tamar was the wife of Judah, as recorded in the Bible, and Tamar was a Canaanite. A Canaanite, more likely that she was a black person. And so the line of David through Tamar, the Canaanite woman, continues through Joseph, the husband of Mary. And you can read that from Matthew chapter 1 verse 16. In the Davidic line, we have King Hezekiah. King Hezekiah was the 14th king of the southern kingdom of Judah, the kingdom through which the Messianic line continued. And if you read the Bible very well, let's look at the prophet Zephaniah. The prophet Zephaniah, you read Zephaniah chapter 1 verse 1. The prophet Zephaniah, his father's name was Cushi. So Zephaniah, the son of Cushi, and the Cushi is the son of Gedaliah, and Gedaliah is the son of Amariah, and he is also the son of Hezekiah. So prophet Zephaniah is recorded as being the son of Cushi. And so Cushi definitely is related to Cush, one of the children of Ham. And when we say somebody is a Cushi, it means that he is from Cush, or related to Cush, and related to the son of Ham called Cush. So the prophet Zephaniah definitely was the son of Cushi. The father's name is Cushi. It means that prophet Zephaniah definitely was a black person, an African. And so the Messianic line proceeds from Hezekiah. It continued with this blackness and demonstrated in the Cushite ethnicity of Zephaniah's father, who was called Cushi. And let's look at 4 women who are in the genealogy of Jesus Christ, and they are people of Africa or African descent, and the people who definitely are black skinned by explicit records and also by implication. Definitely we talk about Tamar. Tamar was a Canaanite, and Tamar was the wife of Judah, where we get the Lion of the tribe of Judah. And Rahab was a Canaanite woman. He was a harlot, and he was a prostitute, and he was spared from destruction because he hid the Israelites. So the ancestor of Christ, called Boaz was the son of Rahab the Canaanite. You can read it in Matthew chapter 1 verse 5. And we can also look at Bathsheba. Bathsheba was the wife of Uriah. Uriah was killed, and David took over the wife of Uriah, Bathsheba. Uriah was a Hittite, and Hittites, the people of the Hittites, they descended from Heth, and Heth was the son of Canaan. Canaan was one of the children of Ham, who many people believe was a black person. You can read his information, this information from Genesis chapter 10 verse 15. So Bathsheba, if Bathsheba's husband Uriah was a Hittite, then we can conclude that more likely than not, Bathsheba was also a person of Hittite descent, and therefore shared ethnic origin with Uriah, and then therefore she was a Hittite and a dark-skinned person. And at this point, let's look at David. We have already traced the genealogy of King David from Tamar, the Canaanite woman, the wife of Judah. And we are also saying that King David married Bathsheba, who was formerly the wife of Uriah the Hittite. And so both King David and Bathsheba definitely are people of dark-skinned ancestry, and they had a son. You all know about that son, King Solomon, and definitely we can conclude that King Solomon was a black person. Why? Because King David is a descendant of Tamar, who married Judah, and Tamar was a Canaanite woman, a descendant of Ham. And Bathsheba was also a Hittite, and definitely a dark-skinned person, and they had a son, King Solomon. And we also can say that Mary, the mother of Jesus, definitely was a black person. And you can read about the black Madonna. The early pictures of Mary show that she is a black lady. And so in Revelation, Jesus said he's the root and offspring of David. And if he's the root and offspring of David, then it means that he descended from David. Definitely he did. And it means that he also descended from Tamar, who was the wife of Judah. And That's why he's the Lion of the tribe of Judah. And so this is a clear evidence that even within the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the Messiah, we have people who, by explicit information or by implicit information, dark-skinned people, black people, and people of African descent, African descent, who also are part of the children of Judah and children of Jacob. And consistent with my videos, these are people who some of them were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, including the so-called African Americans, who are hidden, being hidden, or they are in captivity in Babylon. Thank you for this message.